Hello, thank you for joining me. You can see where I am. I'm at Elgin today in Moray in Scotland. In today's video we're going to have a look around the town centre. I'm currently at the railway station. As the sign says, that way is looking towards Inverness, which I've just come from on the train. And if I was to continue that way, I've never actually been on the railway beyond here, it's something I have to do one day. I'd end up in Aberdeen. The railway station seems to be surrounded by supermarkets, so there's not a great deal to see here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my way into the historic town centre. We're going to go and see some of the sites, have a look at some of the architecture and see what there is to see here. So here we are, we're down the eastern end of the high street. This is about a 15-minute walk from the railway station. I thought I'd start down here because here we have this is the Little Cross. This originally marks the town's boundary. And then just here, this building, Italianate looking building, this was built in 1842. This is the town's museum, which unfortunately isn't open today, so we won't be able to go in there, but there's plenty of other things we can do. We'll walk along the high street. As I pan around, you can see the varying styles of architecture. See the crow step gables on the building just there in front of us. As I said, this is the Little Cross. Further down the high street is the Muckle Cross. So I'm going to head off down the high street and actually there's going to be two types of Muckle Cross. I'm going to show you both of them. They're both very different. Well, here's one of the Muckle crosses. This is the Wetherspoons, where I'm probably going to go to for lunch later on. But this Wetherspoons, this takes its name from the actual Muckle cross, which I should find if I continue on down the high street towards the church. Let's go and find the original Muckle cross. As I continue along the high street, I'm now right in the heart of the town. There's a really nice mix of architecture around me, and here, this is the Muckle Cross, or the Great Cross. I understand this is a rebuild of the original, and behind it is St George's Church. Now, St George's Church, again, isn't the original one on the site. It was built in 1828, I understand, and it's a Greek-style church. So this is actually the back of the church. I'm going to go around now to the front of the church, but first let's just have a little look at the Muckle Cross. I'm now around the front of St George's Church, built to a Greek Doric temple style. Quite an impressive building. Unfortunately though, it's not open, so we can't go inside, so this is the best view we're going to get of it. So, as we are not going to be able to go inside, I'm going to continue on to the end of the high street. And you're probably wondering, am I going to show you Elgin Cathedral? The answer is yes, but first we're going to go and find Elgin Castle. As I continue down the high street and see the church, I'm just going to take a brief detour down this little road here, Thunderton Place. Because the reason I want to take you down here is there's an interesting building called Thunderton House, which I'm about to reveal to you. It's a pub now. Have a look at this building here, Thunderton House. It's one of the town centre mansions, probably one of the most attractive. It's been lived in by various aristocracy, but probably its most famous person to stay here, it was only for one night, was Bonnie Prince Charlie on his way to his unfortunate defeat at the Battle of Culloden. He stayed here in Thunderton House for one night. I'm now going to go and find the castle. I've now left Elgin Town Centre behind me and I've come here to the Lady Steps. This lime tree lined steps are going to take me up to the castle, and we can have a quick look before we go up the steps. There's a tall monument up there, 80 foot high, and that is to the leader of the Gordon Highlanders, the 5th Duke of Gordon. So we're going to go up the steps and get a view over Elgin. I've now climbed up the Lady Steps steps and I'm almost at the top of the hill. It's not a huge hill, in fact it's a very small hill, but you get some great views, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Here is the statue of the 5th Duke of Gordon, up there looking over the town. And behind me, not a lot, but that is the remains of Elgin Castle. At least there's some masonry here. This was built by David I, a King of Scotland, dating back to 1130, and I understand it was destroyed during various wars of independence. So this is all there is really. So if you want a ruin in Scotland, the cathedral is the more. I mean, sorry, in Elgin, there's hundreds of other ruins in Scotland. The main ruin to see in Elgin is the cathedral, which I can't actually see from here. But anyway, let's go to the top bit of the castle. You don't have to pay to visit this if you're thinking of visiting Elgin. You do have to pay to go to the cathedral. We'll talk about the cathedral later. Anyway, so here's the view out across the town. See a couple of church spires. The one just there, that is St George's Church, which we saw in the town centre, and then this is the view of the town. The cathedral is over there in the trees somewhere. Down below us, we can't actually see it yet, but is the River Lossie. You may have heard of Lossiemouth, the RAF place, so that's the river that flows up to Lossiemouth. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go down behind the Duke of Gordon statue, down the other side of the hill, and we'll go for a nice little walk along by the River Lossie. I've come down from the Lady Hill where the castle was, and I'm down by the River Lossie. I'm going to cross the river here at Maryswell Bridge, and then we're going to go for a walk on the other side along what's called the Ladies' Walk. I assume that's also to do with the Lady Hill, which I think takes the name from the Lady Chapel. So this is the bridge which we're going to cross now over the river. So as I mentioned, it flows up to Lossiemouth, which you may have heard of because it's an RAF base. Really nice river. It's a nice, calm, relaxing river to look at. Very clear water. So I'm going to follow it for 3/4 mile or so, let's say, along the Ladies' Walk back towards the town centre. So when you're visiting Elgin, when you want to get away from the hustle and bustle of the town, it's really nice. You've got this nice park here. So that's the way I'm going to go back to the town centre, but I understand you can follow right the way around. Now I did do this a few years ago, see behind the sports field and do a loop that way. So it's a very nice place to go for a walk. I'm now going to go along the Ladies' Walk. I'm continuing along by the River Lossie. It's a very peaceful, pleasant walk. More sporting grounds here, and if you look over there, I'm on the other side of the river now, you can just see the monument to the Gordon Highlander for the 5th Duke of Gordon, and there's the tower of St George's Church, which we saw earlier. Still no sign of the cathedral. I'm going to follow the river, and hopefully I shall find the cathedral quite soon, and maybe something else along the way. Well, I've been walking beside the river for approximately a mile now. It's a very pleasant walk. That's the new road out of Elgin to the north, and here, this is Bishop's Mill Bridge. It's a footbridge now, but this would have been the original road out of Elgin to the north. This is Cooper Park, where I've just arrived at now, and the cathedral isn't far away, but I'm going to do a little detour over Bishop's Mill Bridge. I'll show you why in a moment. So I can just see a sign there. It says the railway station is 3/4 mile away. There's a boating pond just down there. Taking the bridge here, as you can see, this is the old road out of Elgin, the new road running over there behind, and then of course the river continues on towards Lossiemouth. Just up this road is the Moray Motor Museum, which I thought would be a nice thing to go and visit. I always enjoy a motor museum, so I'm going to go up here and find that. Well, here we are. I'm inside the Moray Motor Museum, although here we have some pedal power, but we're going to have a look around the museum, see some of the cars on display. I have to say I'm no expert on classic cars. Some of you have seen some of my videos know I drive a Larder, and that appears in some of the videos. Larder's not up here in Scotland with me today. I did come up by train, but I'm going to show you some of the cars and see what we can see. So look, got a nice Austin here, Land Rover, and then particularly like these bubble cars, and of course a Sinclair C5. I always thought it'd be fun to go for a ride in a Sinclair C5. And as we walk into the museum itself, you've got a fantastic collection of various cars. And there's that really nice smell, you know, that motor museum smell, which I always like to see. So you've got mainly sporty cars. I'm more interested in the family side of cars, the everyday cars, but yeah, they're very impressive to see. And I've been told they all go. They're not just stuffed in a museum. They get taken to shows and everything. So it's a really good collection. It's one gentleman's collection. That's Bristol there. Once when I was in London, I actually went into the Bristol showroom. I think they could see I couldn't afford one, but you know, I think they sort of humoured me. There's a BMW there. So yeah, really good collection. This one, quite like to see. This BMW here. Believe it or not, my grandparents had one. My granddad wanted to have a BMW. Not quite the same as this one, but it was a H-Reg. This one's got H-Reg with German style number plate, but they have a H-Reg one. Not as sporty as this. My granddad was very proud of his BMW, and we always used to like getting picked up in it. I remember my granny collected me from school in it once, and everyone thought my grandparents were so cool because they drove a red BMW, just like this one. Very sporty looking car behind it. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know necessarily all the types of cars. I don't know what that one is. It's probably the newest one in here. Renault Clio, Volkswagen, Audi, and some smaller exhibits. Quite like looking at the models of cars. And there's even some model trains here. Look, some steam loco there. Duchess there, Duchess of Atholl, and an A4 Silver King. So I'm going to continue looking around the museum and have a look at the cars. So if you are visiting Elgin, do come and visit this museum. That was a very interesting visit. I enjoyed visiting the Motor Museum. As part of the visit, you get a voucher to go and have a free drink across the road in this Decora building. So if you're coming to visit Elgin, you're visiting the Motor Museum, it's nice to know you're going to go and get a free drink. It always makes my day getting a free drink. I'm going to go and enjoy that now. I've got my free coffee. This is one of those fantastic shops that does literally everything. It's like a huge department store. It's got a garden centre, it sells kitchens, bathrooms. It's just started raining, so it seems a good place to spend a bit of time looking around here. Then I promise I'm going to go and find the cathedral. Here we are at the other side of Cooper Park. It's just started to rain. As they say in Scotland, today's rain is tomorrow's whiskey. And in front of me, probably the most well-known monument in Elgin, Elgin Cathedral. So there's the cathedral, its twin towers. It's a 13th century cathedral. It used to be known as the Lantern of Scotland, but unfortunately back in 1711 the central tower collapsed. It's a ruin now. The twin towers survived quite nicely, as does, you can just see there, the chapter house. With today's weather and the fact I have to get a train in just over an hour's time, I'm not going to go in the cathedral today, but if you would like to see the cathedral, don't worry, I will still show you around, because at the end of the video I'm going to put a link to a previous video where I looked around the cathedral. So I have done a video going all round Elgin Cathedral, so we're not going to see it, just haven't got time to do it today, but it is a fascinating thing to see. So if you are coming to Elgin, definitely worth seeing this. The Motor Museum, the Castle Hill is free, and there is also, I think this is the Bishop's Palace, I may be wrong there, but another little ruin. So from outside the cathedral, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe. Please do subscribe. It really does help the channel. I'm hoping to get to 15,000 subscribers this year. Way back when I visited the cathedral, I think I only had about 2,000 subscribers. So it's nice to grow the channel, and helps me get to more places like this. So from Twin Towers of Elgin Cathedral, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.